Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Kaysen, Risk Communication Specialist for the Kentucky Division of Water. I'll be your instructor for this educational module titled Understanding Drought, Extreme Heat, and Wildfire Risk. The purpose of this module is to explain what risk is and how natural hazards specific to the state of Kentucky can potentially affect its residents. Risk is the potential that a chosen action or activity, including the choice of inaction, will lead to a loss or an undesirable outcome. The notion implies that a choice having an influence on the outcome exists. Risk can also be defined as future issues that can be avoided or mitigated, rather than present problems that must be immediately addressed. Vulnerability refers to the susceptibility of a person, group, society, or system to a risk, such as physical or emotional injury or attack. It's also the extent to which changes could harm a system, or to which a community can be affected by the impact of a hazard. The risk assessment in the Kentucky State Enhanced Hazard Mitigation Plan includes an overview of the types of all natural hazards that can affect the state. The state of Kentucky is vulnerable to a wide array of natural hazards which threaten life and property. Through research of the historic impacts, 13 hazards are emphasized in the Kentucky State Hazard Mitigation Plan. The focus of today's lesson will be drought, extreme heat, and wildfire. Additional modules are available to discuss the other hazards listed in the State Enhanced Hazard Mitigation Plan. A drought is an extended period of months or years when a region notes a deficiency in its water supply. Generally, this occurs when a region receives consistently below average precipitation. It can have a substantial impact on the ecosystem and agriculture. Although droughts can persist for several years, even a short, intense drought can cause significant damage and harm the local economy. Impacts are commonly referred to as direct or indirect: reduced crop, rangeland, and forest productivity, increased fire hazard, reduced water levels, increased livestock and wildlife mortality rates, and damage to wildlife and fish habitat are a few examples of direct impacts. The consequences of these impacts illustrate indirect impacts. For example, a reduction in crop, rangeland, and forest productivity may result in reduced income for farmers and agribusiness, increased prices for food and timber, unemployment, reduced tax revenues because of reduced expenditures, increased crime, foreclosures on bank loans to farmers and businesses, migration, and disaster relief programs. Kentucky has experienced 3 significant drought periods in the past 20 years. Drought affects all areas of Kentucky. Its effects can be both direct, such as reduced crops, or indirect, such as reduced income for farmers. Extreme heat is defined as temperatures that hover 10 degrees or more above the high average temperature for a particular region and last for several weeks. Extreme heat can pose a threat even to individuals and communities who are accustomed to high temperatures. Approximately 175 Americans die every year from the effects of extreme heat. The elderly, young children, and sick people are especially prone to heat-related illness. Heat kills by pushing the human body beyond its limits. In extreme heat and high humidity, evaporation is slowed and the body must work extra hard to maintain a normal temperature. Extreme heat can affect any part of Kentucky given the appropriate conditions and the right time of year. Extreme heat is most likely to occur in the months of July, August, or September. It has been known to occur in May, June, and October. The likelihood of extreme heat occurring outside of these months is small. Extreme heat most often occurs in the summer months, is often associated with drought, and is dangerous to people because it makes it difficult to maintain a normal body temperature. The most common cause of wildfires varies throughout the world. Lightning, human activities such as animal husbandry, agriculture, and land conversion burning, carelessness, machinery sparks, and castaway cigarette butts are some of the many causes of wildfires. Wildfires have a rapid forward rate of spread when burning through dense, uninterrupted fuels. They can move as fast as 6.7 miles per hour in forests and 14 miles per hour in grasslands. Forests cover approximately 12 million acres of land in Kentucky, representing 47% of the state's land cover. From 1945 to the present, Kentucky has experienced over 126,000 wildfires, which burned 5,003,952 acres statewide. Fire most threatens the eastern districts because of their extensively forested areas and because of the poor accessibility to many areas that makes fire suppression more difficult. Though this is the region most affected by wildfire, fires do occur throughout the state. Less than a dozen counties have not experienced wildfire in the last decade. The Kentucky FireWise program encourages local solutions for wildfire safety by involving homeowners, community leaders, planners, developers, firefighters, and others in the effort to protect people and property from the risk of wildfire. Wildfire risk is statewide, but more common in heavily forested areas. Wildfires caused by natural events such as lightning and by human impacts such as machinery sparks and discarded cigarette butts. Drought is indicated by temperature and precipitation. Drought affects all areas of Kentucky, and its effects can be both direct, such as reduced crops, or indirect, such as reduced income for farmers. Extreme heat most often occurs in the summer months. It's often associated with droughts and is dangerous to people because it makes it difficult to maintain normal body temperature. Wildfire risk is statewide, but more common in heavily forested areas. Wildfires caused by natural events such as lightning and by human impacts such as machinery sparks and discarded cigarette butts.